The Supreme Court on Monday made a very, very important ruling, and listen carefully to this, viewer. It overruled a 1998 verdict granting immunity to lawmakers, that is MPs or MLAs, from prosecution for taking bribes to make speeches, ask questions, cast votes in the legislature or parliament. Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, said that bribery is complete when bribery is accepted. The unanimous verdict was delivered by a 7-member constitution bench led by the Chief Justice. Here's what it means, and here's what the implications are for MPs and MLAs.
Corruption and bribery of members of the legislature erode the foundation of Indian parliamentary democracy. It is destructive of the aspirational and deliberative ideals of the Constitution.
A landmark Supreme Court judgment ending legal immunity for lawmakers who take bribes to vote and speak in parliament and assemblies.
The legislator is rewarded with immunity.
In a unanimous judgment, the 7-judge bench led by CJI Chandrachud said that MPs and MLAs can be prosecuted for taking bribes for vote and speeches in the House, in effect overturning the Supreme Court's 1998 verdict by a 7-judge bench which shielded JMM MPs who were bribed by the Congress government of Narasimha Rao to win a no-trust motion. The court emphasized that parliamentary privilege does not extend to acts of bribery. The 1998 ruling had granted MPs and MLAs complete immunity in voting matters, shielding them from prosecution even in cases involving bribery. However, this latest verdict marks a departure from that stance, reinforcing the principles of accountability and integrity within the legislative process.
ये एक ऐतिहासिक फैसला है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपनी जजमेंट में स्पष्ट कहा है कि भाई लोकतंत्र में भय मुक्त वातावरण का होना जरूरी है, लेकिन अगर रिश्वतखोरी कर रहे हैं तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट शांत नहीं रह सकता। इस घटना के इस निर्देश के दूरगामी परिणाम होंगे और सांसद रिश्वत कांड, जिसमें झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा के 4 सांसदों ने पैसा लेकर नरसिम्हा राव की तत्कालीन सरकार को बचाने के लिए वोट दिया था, उस मामले का सीधा-सीधी असर झारखंड पर पड़ेगा।
These provisions of protection to members of parliament or MLA are made for the discharge of their duties and only for those things without which they cannot discharge their duties, not to give them additional benefits like, for example, receiving bribes. So I think it's a salutary, desirable, welcome judgment. It is something which sets right the law and it should have been done earlier.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the judgment with a welcoming swagatam on X. He hailed the ruling as a pivotal step towards fostering clean politics and bolstering public trust in the democratic system. With the Supreme Court order, trouble now mounts for the bribe-taker netas of JMM, including Sita Soren, JMM MLA from Jama and daughter-in-law of party chief Shibu Soren. Sita is accused in one such bribery case from 2012. Bureau Report, India Today.
And I want to bring in India Today's legal reporter Kanu Sarda live from Delhi on this big verdict from the Supreme Court. Kanu, can you simplify it for us in the context? Okay, we'll go back to Kanu in just a moment. I think we've just lost that line with her. She's at court where there's a bit of a crowd, so we'll get back to her to clarify that in just a moment. But this is a very, very significant verdict by the Supreme Court, a unanimous verdict, no less, because it applies, there was absolutely no dissenting note as far as the bench was concerned. D.Y. Chandrachud saying that if you've taken a bribe, then the act of bribery is complete, and therefore the parliamentary privilege blanket that MPs and MLAs usually cite from prosecution, they will lose that if it is proven that they have accepted a bribe to ask a question, to move a motion, etc. Kanu is back with me. Kanu, just simplify this for us in the current context. What kinds of politicians would be affected by this ruling?
Well, Shiv, all kind of politicians, be it MLA, be it MP, be it MLC, all kind of politicians will be impacted from this judgment which has come from the 7 judges bench of the Supreme Court today, wherein it is clearly said that, the bribery cannot be claimed as an immunity by all these people. So very, very clearly, the top court had said that, you cannot claim immunity under Article 105 and 194 of the Indian Constitution, which had been given to them since 1998 in the P.V. Narasimha Rao judgment. So the Supreme Court today has set aside the old judgment and has, paved the way for the criminal prosecution for all these MPs and MLAs which are being blamed for taking bribes or speaking on anybody's behalf at the floor of the House or at the Parliament.
Okay, Kanu, thanks very much for making that clear for us. Very interesting to see which particular politicians, MPs, MLAs, etc., will be immediately impacted by this judgment.